Hello, everyone. There's some news I talked about. It involves football. Let's get right into the details. It's about a wide receiver named Michael Thomas. I'm sure y'all all heard of him before if you're a football fan. If not, then he's a wide receiver for the Saints. One of the greatest Saints wide receivers I ever seen. If not the greatest wide receiver I've seen since I was a fan of New Orleans when I was a young boy, and definitely did great things down there. But we all know his history. I mean, when he first came into the league, he was setting records. He had a record-setting year when he in 2019 when he had 149 receptions, 7, 1,725 receiving yards, and I believe 9 receiving touchdowns. One of the greatest seasons I've seen in a long time. That is like the second or third best season by a wide receiver in NFL history, right? That's some of the most receiving yards in NFL history. That's the most receptions by a wide receiver. Also, that's the most wide receivers. I mean, that's the most receptions by a wide receiver in NFL history. And Thomas have the second most receiving yards in NFL history. Now, touchdowns, that's not the most by a wide receiver. I mean, most wide receiver when they're that talented, they'll have about 9 to 10 touchdowns. But, I mean, he had himself one heck of a year. But he was playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees. Obviously, now a quarterback is Derek Carr, and Derek Carr nowhere near Drew Brees' level. But Derek Carr done made the quarterback. Not a Drew Brees type, but he's good that did us probably to the playoffs. But even with the easy schedule, with the weakest division, probably the weakest division you've seen in a decade or two, maybe 2 decades, maybe the third, I don't know. But it's one of the weakest divisions I've seen in over a decade. Probably the weakest division I've seen since I was a fan. Like the division never been this weak until now, and we should have won the NFC South. For some reason, the freaking Saints couldn't do it. I mean, for them to have the easiest schedule and go 9-8. I know you would over 500. I know, but for you to have that team with talent, for you to have that kind of schedule, for you to be in that division, and you come out with 9 wins, 9 wins. You didn't even did 10. You didn't even did not even 10 wins. We were projected to get around 10 wins at least 10, and we didn't even get there. We had high expectation with this easy schedule, something similar to what Philly had when they had Jalen Hurts, and they would have expected to go to the top. But when you have an easy path like that, your path is easy to not only get to the playoff, but to get to the Super Bowl. And that is exactly what they did. They took advantage of that schedule. They got the number 1 seed. They went all the way to the Super Bowl where they was this close to win it all. That close. I literally this close. But freaking James Bradbury for the Eagles had a pass interference call on a Chiefs wide receiver when they was on crease. They did a touchdown, but they didn't. So Philly stopped them. They were gonna get the ball back. But then, like I said, he had a pass interference call, will mean the Chiefs were able to run the clock out and win the game and win the Super Bowl that year. And that was only a year ago. So, that was last season. So, but then Philly had a great ride. So I expected the Saints to do the exact same thing, but unfortunately, they did. But yet, they did to the point what I was talking about, Michael Thomas. He went on his rampage on social media the other day. He went on this rampage Sunday afternoon during the Chiefs and Ravens game, or after the game. I don't know, but it was during the game, I believe. He was talking about the quarterback. He was talking about he was talking with a random fan. I don't know who the fan is, but it was a random fan, and they were talking about if you would stay healthy, Thomas. I already know what he said, but I know the fans said if you just stay healthy, blah blah blah. And then Thomas said this. Well, if I didn't set up by a bad ball, I very well had a very lively 1,000-yard season, and we can be in a different position right now. But unfortunately, since I was set up by a bad ball, he's injured, and then it don't make any sense. And then Tom they got contracted with the quarterback. He talked in the he just my point is I didn't I can look up what he was talking about, but I don't know his his social media thing. So, but the point is, he was talking trash about his quarterback, Derek Carr, the quarterback that he wanted. And I'm sure y'all remember. Like I said, if you're a football fan, you remember when Michael Thomas said, "Thank you, Jesus," when they signed Derek Carr. If you're not a football fan, then I understand. You don't know what I'm talking about. But if you are a football fan, then you know what he said about when he said, "Thank you, Jesus," when they signed Derek Carr. He didn't like Winston. He didn't like Andy Dalton. Like I said, for the lack of you're a football fan, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not a football fan, then it learn about what I'm saying. But again, if you're a football fan, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, he said that stuff that he wanted a all pro quarterback that can get him back to where he was, and he believed Derek Carr was that. So he said, "Go to Derek Carr," and they got the quarterback he wanted. He was happy. He was signed with the team. He could have went to another team, but he decided to resign because he got the quarterback that he wanted. So they got the quarterback he wanted. They start off the year kind of hot, not really hot, but they start off the year 2-0. They still have stuff to figure out. They really start the year off 3-2, very solid. Not It was very good, probably not good, but it was very good. I mean, they was winning the NFC South, I believe. They were winning the NFC South, I believe. If not, they was tied for the division. And then they went on this rampage where they lost. After starting off 3-2, they lose to the Texans, then they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and two bad musicians. They both of them they lost by 7, which they struggled with offense. I know saying they would rank 19th in the NFL in offense. Derek Carr, I think, was 24 in red zone efficiency. Not great. He was not great in the red zone this year. Horrible. But again, Michael Thomas was talking trash about the quarterback. He was talking with his fan, and then everybody around the world is talking about it. About could this be Michael Thomas' final dance in New Orleans? Could he be done with the Saints? My answer is yes. He might be done with the Saints. So after going on the rampage, if I'm talking trash, him talking with his fan, blah blah. I don't know. But Michael Thomas had very well seen his last dance with the Saints, and he could very well be on the market to doing somewhere else. And for me to say to Michael Thomas, I enjoy what you did down here, but the point is, you deserve to leave. I mean, you can't stay healthy. You talked to draft about the quarterback you wanted, so why would it make sense for us to come right off the day to resign you after you said all this? And then he talked about he talked about Derek Carr during the game one time. I think it was against the Lions back in Week 13. He would talk. Derek Carr missed an open wide receiver. He said, did what Thomas said. He said AT was wide open and he would have had a touchdown. But Derek Carr missed him and he threw an interception on that play. That was the very first play of the game, and he had an open touchdown. They would have tied the game 7-7, but then he threw a wobbly pass that Johnson had it in his hand, but then he wobbled it off his hand and then was intercepted. It was not a pick six, but he intercepted the ball. And then we all know what happened there. They went down 21-0, and they tried to make a weird comeback, but then at the end of the day, the Saints they couldn't do it. They've done that 5 times this year where they try to make a comeback, but then at the end of the day, they never do it because they suck. The defense is trash. The defense is too old. The offense is obviously trash. So it's time for the Saints to move on. But Derek Carr, do I think he should leave? Yes. I want a fresh start. Thomas, should he leave? Yes. Fresh start. I love Olave. He's doing great things down there. I love Rashid Shaheed. I love his speed. I love A.T. Perry, the wide receiver, to contribute. And I knew he would contribute. Once he got playing time, I knew he would contribute. So I love them 3 wide receivers right there. I still have Alvin Kamara. He still can distribute. I love that wide receiver, Kendrick Miller. I love Jawan Johnson. We all know we love Taysom Hill. But do we want down Michael Thomas, Derek Carr? Do we want them guys to leave? Yes, we do. We want these guys to leave because it is not. It is not the answer anymore. Derek Carr obviously not the answer quarterback. Thomas can't stay healthy, so it's time to move on for them guys. We know Thomas is probably going to be leaving, but Derek Carr, he's coming back. We know Dennis Allen. We know we want him to be gone, but he's returning. Suckers. At least Pete Carmichael was gone. But hey, they let me know. Do you Michael Thomas have seen the last dance in New Orleans? Let me know in the comment section, and we'll see you on next time.